From WDTN, the station that's working for you, this is 2 News Today.
Giant orange flames burned through a manufacturing facility overnight, prompting a massive emergency response. More than 100 people forced out of their homes.
They're trying to keep people comfortable as possible
to escape potentially dangerous chemicals. This morning, dozens of employees are wondering what happens next.
It's sad. It's a sad situation right now.
And we have team coverage of this industrial fire for you right now on this special breaking news edition of 2 News Today. And good morning, I'm John Seibel. Witnesses reported hearing explosions while the fire burned. It started inside Alpine Metal Finishing on Drill Avenue just before 11 last night. Let's get right to the latest developments. Residents are now back in their homes this morning. They were given the all clear around 3:45. We are still waiting to hear from the company's owner. He is, however, expected to release a statement sometime today. Meantime, firefighters will remain on the scene throughout the day, and the state fire marshal is coming in to investigate. We begin our team coverage with Robert Lowry. He's live in Harrison Township with what's happening right now. Robert?
John, fortunately, nobody injured when this 3-alarm fire went off over here at the Alpine Metal Finishing Products. Now, it's a little bit quieter scene that we have here. Harrison Township crews actually still on the scene here, still trying to search for any hot spots that might be going on. We're told they're going to be here at least for another few hours going on, but definitely a quieter scene here this morning after what was happening all last night. People living in the area around here said they heard several explosions throughout the night, and we're told by the fire crews that some of those explosions were from 5-gallon barrels with flammable liquid exploding. Another major concern for fire crews, however, was keeping the fire from spreading to other buildings that are nearby around here, just trying to make sure that those hazardous chemicals in those buildings don't catch fire or spread into a nearby water source.
I know if it gets over to building 1, we're in bad trouble. That's a lot of our chemicals, that's all of our paperwork, that's where everything stays, that's where mainly our office is.
I didn't see anything big explode. So there might have been some 5-gallon containers of that flammable liquid exploding, but nothing made. There were no 55-gallon drums that went off. I've seen many of those fires, and usually whenever a 55-gallon drum goes off, explodes, everybody knows it.
The state fire marshal is expected to arrive sometime this morning to determine a cause. Investigators, however, not ruling out suspicious activity at this point. They're asking for your help. Investigators are asking that if you saw anything suspicious in this area before the fire started around 10:30 last night, to call the Harrison Township Fire Department. Reporting live, Robert Lowry, 2 News, working for you.
While firefighters attacked those flames, deputies were busy going door to door, evacuating people near that facility. Brooke Moore is now live with where those people are now. Brooke?
Kept away for nearly 4 hours overnight. Nearly 120 people are back home this morning, but for more than a dozen of those people, they actually spent the night right here at Northridge High School. RTA buses shuttled those people here to this location, which is 2 miles away from the fire. They were able to wait inside here at the school. Dozens of others, though, were picked up by friends or family members. And because firefighters are dealing with hazardous materials and also they're in defensive mode, they wanted everyone within a quarter of a mile to the north and also the west to be sent to safety. The size of the flames quickly caught the attention of many of these neighbors. Some of them saw photos popping up on social media. Others then heard a knock at the front door.
I answered the door and they told us that they had a voluntary evacuation and come up here to the high school. I have respiratory problems, so I wanted to get the heck out of there.
We seen the fire on Instagram. So we rushed home to see it. So we were going to walk over to it, and then the police stopped us, said they're evacuating the neighborhood. We didn't know where to go, so we asked, and they told us to come here.
And by the time that last RTA bus pulled out of this parking lot, there was only a handful of people on it. Even though firefighters are going to stay out there at the fire to keep an eye on things, they say that it is perfectly safe for those people to be home this morning. Live in Harrison Township, I'm Brooke Moore, 2 News Today, working for you.
We are digging deeper into the history of the Alpine facility. In 2011, firefighters were called there when a fire started inside the building. The flames spread to the roof and damaged some of the containers holding potentially toxic chemicals. The cause of that fire was believed to be electrical. Fire crews are required to do yearly inspection, and they say they were well prepared to handle the situation. This is not the first time we've had a major fire in the Miami Valley in recent years. One of the biggest was perhaps in 2009 when the Veolia plant in West Carrollton blew up.
It's not a matter if this place blows up again, it's when.
Even just last year, 4 years after the fire, residents near the plant were still dealing with the aftermath. The force of that blast broke windows and even knocked some homes off their foundations. Investigators determined that fire was triggered by leaking vapors. Veolia was fined $45,000 and say it changed procedures in the wake of that fire.
Our top priority is to prevent the further spreading of this fire. And we also want to preserve the safety of the natural resources in this area.
The following year, there was a fire at Franklin Iron and Metal. Flames burnt as high as 60 feet in the air, burning a mountain of 3,000 junk cars and appliances. Firefighters used foam to put those flames out, driving the cost to fight that fire into the thousands. The fire also kicked up smoke thick with particles that landed on parts of the city, including 2 schools and Dayton Children's Hospital. The EPA tested the air and ruled it was not toxic. And 4 months later, crews were called to metal shredders in West Carrollton when it caught fire. It took firefighters 3 hours to get that under control. That fire was especially hard for firefighters because of the weather and the lack of nearby hydrants. We will be working for you all day long, asking questions about the fire and the emergency response. Now, here's where things stand right now. Building 2 of Alpine Metal Finishing is destroyed. About 100 firefighters were called to fight the fire and evacuate the surrounding area. Investigators are treating this as suspicious because the facility had been closed for several hours when the fire started. Right now on WDTN.com, you will find everything we have learned about the fire. And of course, you could stay with us throughout the day for any new developments.